What's up, everyone? Today we're going to talk about some of the tips and tricks to keep your business going, um, some of the good and bad about it, and what will what should you do to keep your employees. Now, 6 tips to keep a successful business going. This one's by Forbes. You know, you do need to stay true to your dream and make sure you do follow what you believe in, and some of the issues about some of these tips and tricks about business. Some of these people never own a business and don't understand that not all these tips that they give will help. Now, what AI said about it was to look at the bigger picture. So you need to focus on your long term goal and manage your finance well. Well, that's all true. If you want a successful business and keep your successful business going, you have to look at the long term picture and invest in your employees, invest in making a good workplace environment, and make sure you are very profitable. And you can't spend your money um, poorly, because the biggest thing to keep a business going is managing your finance so you can keep paying your staff and make cuts when you need to make cuts and continue with your business. So, how do you keep a successful business going? You do need to look at the bigger picture and make sure you do say, hey, in the bigger picture, I want to grow into this size business, or I want to make this much money. Well, you can't do that without going to managing your finance. Now, one of the key factors is your employees. If you have a very good employee benefits, you can grow your business, and you just have to make sure your employees don't take advantage of it. Now, how to ensure happy employees? If you invest all this money training people and you have a high turnover rate, you cannot grow your business. So, one of my tips and tricks is to make a happy employee. Now, if they're not happy, there's some people that will never be happy at a job, and you have to not be around the bush. You can have to fire them and find someone that meets the workplace environment, and and this is according to Indeed. You have to contribute to their happiness. Now, some of the tricks you can do is, according to AI, is allow employees to voice their opinion. It's very important that you allow your employees to what's on their mind and not have a closed door. This is for small companies and big companies, because the people on the low end, they will, or on the ground, will know exactly what's going on with the company, with the customer. And when you do that and you allow them to have their opinion, you end up with a better product or better services. Because if you have someone on the ground giving the best service they can, you'll have more business because it's a customer based service, or you have a bad product that you can get repaired and fix all the kinks. Now, you for employees wise or employer wise, you have to try to help recognize people and give them rewards. It could be monetary value rewards like raises, or which most likely they like more, and bonuses, or you can do a luncheon and party for them, which on a scale of what a employee wants, they want the money instead of the recognition with a pizza. So you can take them out to lunch, but you can do all these things. But at the end of the day, an employee, they come to work for you as the employer because they need money. Or they would just sit at home, play video games, or retire. Now, the third thing you can do to really help with your staffing and to grow your company is provide a career growth for them in house. If you provide for them and say, hey, you can be a manager, we can improve your technical skills, and send them to school, send them to training, pay for some of the school. they're more likely to stay at your company and help grow your company. Because right now in America, they are jumping job to job for these opportunities. And a big thing to keep an employee is reality is not the money all the time, it's a work life balance. If you give someone the best work life balance, they can't really find a job anywhere else. So promote a very good work life balance. Right now, I did went back to work because it was a good thing to do, and I can save to buy more houses and everything else like that to grow my income or my yeah to grow my income, because the bigger amount of money coming in means easier for me to grow my real estate business. And my job is very flexible, so I enjoy it. Now, with that work life balance, you have to make sure they don't take advantage of it too as an employer. So, the best thing you can do is find a good medium, talk to them, communicate with them, but don't let them take advantage of it. Now, number 5 is you have to nip any negative in your company out. You have to always have a positive workspace environment. If you have one bad apple in a barrel, all the apples are going to eventually go bad. They're going to start complaining. They're going to say this place is better. At the end of the day, if they're not happy there, just happily say, hey, I'm sorry you're not happy, but maybe you should find employment somewhere else, or tell me why you're not happy here, and maybe we can fix it. Like I said, some employees are un are just unhappy people, and you can't always make them happy. So you have to find a good work life balance. They're just a bunch of negative people. There's just some people that don't want to work. So you have to find the proper employee and keep them happy. Get rid of the bad employees, and this is a cycle you have to do, because you are not going to make everyone happy, and this is where you have to constant communicate with your employee, and this will get you the best outcome you can get, because the issue you are having to for growth a lot of times is based off your employees. If you have a bad employee, you are not going to be able to grow your company. There's some people that just wants to get high and do nothing all day, and that's not a good um, employee. You need to find employees to help you grow your company. Now, you do need to communicate with your employee, and as an employer, with each other all the time, saying, hey, what will help you get a better work-life balance? And this will help keep people, and keeping your top talents saves you way more money than always having to hire and train someone. Because hiring people and firing people is not an easy choice for anyone. And the issue with the hiring and firing is it costs as much money to keep a good employee as the raise most of the time. And this is where you have to do the numbers and constantly communicate. And one thing a lot of corporate companies do not do is offer flexibility with the work schedule. If you allow your employees to have a flexible work schedule, more likely they won't leave your company, because you give them a very flexible work schedule. Now, this is going to be the issue with it though. Some people will take advantage of it, and you will have to say, hey, I'll allow flexibility, stand your ground, but we do need you to work in the office or XYZ, because productivity is better. And or two, they have to prove that their productivity is better at with the flexibility. Now, the next issue about keeping a proper employee as an employer is the salary, the the competitive salary with the industry. And as a small business owner, it's really hard to keep, you know, your lights on with some of these corporation salaries so high. So what you can do is conduct a market research and stay within a range for um your competitive. Let's say one company's paying 100,000, but you're paying 90,000. Well, you offer more flexibility and a work for home option. So guess who will more likely stay with your company because you offer that work for home. So you don't always have to have the highest pay, but you do need to review what your competitive are doing if you want to keep your key employees. Now, you do need to do a performance based raise because what bigger corporations do, they mainly do a standard raise and say, hey, you're going to just get this raise and that's it. And just keep going with it. Now, the issue with it is if you don't do a performance base, that standard 3.0, 2.5 raise is not going to be enough to keep with everyone's cost of living. So you have to be clear and say, all right, this person deserves more money because he did bring in X amount of dollars. So let's compensate him for the amount of money he raised or saved. And be transparent with your communication with your employees. As if you tell them, hey, okay, Joe down the street pays an extra $5. Well, I can't offer that $5. I can give you at most 50 cents a dollar. And because I do offer these benefits instead. And if they do leave because of the money, you did your best. And then they're going to find out, hey, your benefit package is with the flexibility and standard living and work life balance will end up keeping them there instead. Because it's not always about the money with employer or employees, it's based off what work life balance, how flexible you are, and what benefits they get also. So you have to make sure you factor all that in when you do your salary because you don't want to have the highest salary, the best benefits, and the best work life balance and not be able to turn a profit because of that. So you have to balance it with your budget, saying, because at the end of the day, if you've given the best of everything, it'll be awesome if you could. But doesn't mean you really can, because at the end of the day, you won't be able to do all of them without underlying costing the company too much money. So you have to find a happy median, and if you can find a happy median, awesome. But even better if you can offer all of it to your employees. But at the end of the day, the small companies or small business are making money, but it's not as profitable as the bigger corporation where they do have more flexibility and more business wise. So make sure you always do your market research on how much you want to pay people. Now, a big saying for employers or employees is they don't leave a workplace because of the pay, they leave the workplace because of a manager. So, how you need to make sure you have a good manager whenever you start your company and start growing because a bad manager can throw your whole business off. They either don't talk to the employees, they're too much of a micromanager, they're too hands on. There's a lot of things, and this is where you have to talk and communicate with your team and let your team help decide your managers so they understand, hey, we need to keep up proper communication skills, and we don't want a manager to go in there and be one of those, I'm a manager, you just do what I say. Well, that's not proper communication. Leadership also need to help inspire the team to keep growing. So if you don't have a proper leadership in your company, you're going to have people leave because people want a good leader to follow, and you have to make sure they're very knowledgeable about the industry you're hiring them. Don't just hire a manager because they're family friends. And as an employee, we seen this before, and it never works out well. So having a proper manager will change everything. There's nothing you can do with a bad manager. You just have to get rid of the managers and get one that meets the culture and aligns with the owners and the leaderships. So you might have to fire managers, try a bunch of different managers. But these are my tips and tricks for to keep your employees, keep a proper business going, to grow your business. So please like and subscribe to the video and stay tuned for more videos.